Welcome back to the We Are Woke podcast. My name is Demetrius Brooks. And first off, as I always say, I want to thank everybody for tuning in for the last couple of weeks. I've been having a couple of guests on the show. I plan on to continue doing that. Next week, my next guest will be Jonathan Griffin. He's an MMA fighter, good friend of mine. We used to work together. So I want to bring him on there, talk a little MMA talk. So we'll get into that next week. But as of this week, I want to start it off with the quote of the day. And the quote of the day is, "Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you." And I know that's kind of like a tongue twister the most. But what it says pretty much is you have to remember at the end of the day that you are you. Nobody can be you better than you. So you have to remind yourself every once in a while that pretty much just be yourself. Don't be trying to fit in with everybody. If you have to fit in with somebody, that's not the crowd for you. So stay away from that type of energy. So as far as the bars of the day, I really didn't have any bars of the day, but I wanted to mention a song by Kendrick Lamar. It's called "Fear." It's off his Damn album. And with that song right there, if you listen to it, anytime you ever been in any type of situation or whatever, or you feel like giving up in anything, like any situation, like anything in life, like that song remind you, like you gotta be you gotta stay focused. So it kind of ties in with the bars of the day. So let's get into some sports. Some of the sports I have for this week. Over the weekend, they had the WWE Extreme Rules. It turned out okay. It wasn't nothing like that I'll say you missed. I made predictions on that card. To start it off, I want to say the first match was New Day versus Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura. I didn't catch that first match, but they said that New Day lost the belt. On the podcast that I'm on, we pretty much agree with the same thing, that New Day, that's a tag team that's been around for a while. So if they lose the belt, people not really gonna trip off of it because they know that they'll win it back. They're one of the top tag teams in WWE, so it's not something that you gotta you flip out about. It's good that Cesaro and Nakamura got the belts on them, because I feel like Nakamura should have been in the title run by now. He should have had at least the strap by now. I mean, Intercontinental is good, but I'm talking about the heavyweight belt. He should have been in talks with that. He's one of those wrestlers. So is Cesaro, but they haven't really got that. But hopefully with this tag team, it's a start. I know Nakamura had the Intercontinental for a while, but I want to see both of those guys get a chance at the main title. So yeah, salute to them for winning. The Apollo Crews and MVP, that match didn't go on. They said, I want to say that they said Apollo Crews tested positive for COVID-19, so he wasn't able to come to the show. So somehow MVP is saying that he's the United States champion. So we'll leave it at that, I guess. The next match, one of the matches I actually saw was Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. Overall, the match was pretty good. This was an eye for eye match. You know how WWE can get at times. A couple of weeks ago, Rey Mysterio got his eye pretty much busted up by Seth Rollins in the match that they were saying, like for him losing his eye pretty much, and they had him pretty much with an eye patch on for the whole match. So with him he ended up losing this fight, as he should. So now it seems like he really lost his eye, because it was the same eye, I want to say. If it was the other eye, I don't know what angle they're trying to take with that, but it was still, overall, it was a decent match. What else did we have? Bayley and Nikki Cross. I want to say Bayley retained. I didn't watch that match. Asuka versus Sasha Banks. I didn't catch that match either, but I heard that. Well, I caught the end of the match. At the end of the match, somehow the referee got knocked out. Bayley comes out, puts the referee shirt on, and somehow counted for Sasha Banks to win. So now it's set up for them to do a rematch, because she didn't necessarily lose the belt. The co-main event was Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler. That match right there was decent, but we already knew that Dolph wasn't gonna win that strap. They had it was Extreme Rules match only for Dolph Ziggler. That was the stipulation. So now in a week or so, it's gonna be a rematch, which will be McIntyre picking whatever the stipulation is. So we'll see how that turns out. Overall, like I said, it is a decent match. Just a decent 15-20 match. The main event was Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. I think I got my prediction right on this. I said that. Well, I want to say Braun actually won the match, or did no? Bray won the match because he got the last laugh in the match or whatever. But with this, this will be the third match with them. So the way I see it is that Bray Wyatt has 3 different characters right now that he's using. He's using the regular Bray Wyatt, the Firehouse one, and the Fiend Bray. So at the end of the match, the Fiend came out of the water. They had to like make it look like it was a blood bath over there or some shit. And he ended up winning this match. So this is going to set up the third match. It should be around, I'll say about SummerSlam is when they'll match up again. So overall, the card was, it was, like I said, I'll say it was okay. It wasn't nothing to get hype about, but it's pretty boring to me. But I'm glad we got to see it. It was cool, like I said. So as far as NFL, a few things I want to talk about as far as an update on my Tennessee Titans. After my last podcast, I was saying that hopefully Derrick Henry gets his contract that he's due. He got a 4-year, $50 million deal. $25 million is guaranteed. So salute to Derrick Henry for getting that contract. I'm glad he got it done because he is our offense right now. He's the best player on offense. Top 3 this year, guaranteed. Last year I said top 5. He finished about top 5, or I want to say 4 or 5, but he definitely did a lot better than most running backs. So salute to my boy King Henry getting that $50 million check. What else happened? Carolina Panthers. Cam he is on the Patriots now. So he had a big falling out with Carolina when he left. But one of the things that happened that we just now hearing about is that when he got released, they sent a text message to him instead of actually contacting him on the phone, like with a phone call or something, or having him come up there, hey, let's just talk about it, whatever. And instead, like I said, they sent him a text message. That just shows, like in the NFL, if you can't do nothing for them or they feeling some type of way, they'll get rid of your ass. It's like nothing. Like that's like sitting, like you being up in high school and you got a girlfriend, and instead of seeing her at school, letting her know y'all breaking up or calling her on the phone, you send her a text message and say, yeah, I'm done with your ass. Like, we done. So it was kind of disrespectful. So hopefully this year gives Cam some motivation to win. He got a good team over there in New England. The offense is not there yet, but I still believe like he can prove that he's still worthy, or he is worthy of another contract. What else I have? So speaking on the NFL, I'm trying to figure out, the NBA has got set back up. They got their bubble going on. I'm not sure, like with the NFL, they have it's so much that they need in a stadium, and it's going to be a lot of cameramen. You're going to have some type of audience possibly, but they need to really think this through if they're going to let these guys go out there, because if you have to travel to each state to even play for one. So if they're going to allow that, or if they're going to allow a few fans, I want to say they said that if they're going to allow fans, they would be having to, they have to wear face masks out there. That's a lot of traveling to do with different teams in different states and stuff. Nobody has really been tested for this COVID-19. They're coming out with the vaccines and stuff. They've been coming out with them, but you really can't trust it. You have to realize people haven't seen sports for this whole year. And now in a situation like this, some people are gonna get desperate, and this could put a lot of people in jeopardy going forward. So hopefully they think about these players, their health, before they resume this year, you know. So that's all I have for NFL. As far as the NBA, they got a few games on the NBA scrimmage to start today. I was just gonna tell y'all a few of the stats that we had. I was just watching the what was it, the Nets? What was it, the Nets and Nets? Who are they? I can't even think of who they playing. Let me see. The Nets and Pelicans, that's who it was. So from the earlier game, they had the Clippers versus Magic. See what stats they had right here. Yeah, just basic little basketball game, like. But Lou Williams and Paul George had the best game. 99-90, they beat the Magic. Washington played Denver Nuggets. That was a little bit earlier. Bull, that's a Manute Bol son. Look like he balling. They had Daniels and Dragic and Bull. Yeah, I didn't know he was on the Nuggets. So they beat the Wizards 89-82. That was a good one. And then so yeah, I was watching the Pelicans and Nets. Right now the score is 63-39. When I was watching a couple of minutes ago, it was like 50-25. So they down by 25, and that just makes me think, oh, wait a minute, this last game said the Kings in Miami, but they already started 13-21 Miami way. But just seeing these players out there now, and I know they've been doing the scrimmaging in the bubbles and all that, but just the thing, like, damn, like, y'all getting 25 in a scrimmage already? Like, come on, man. Y'all got to do better than that. But hopefully these teams bring it when the playoffs start. Well, this little bracket they're about to do for these couple of games in order to make it to the playoffs. Hopefully they come a lot better than that. But the rest of the teams look like they actually out there playing and stuff. So as far as let's get into some news that I had for today. A little bit of news. John Lewis, he was a civil rights activist back in the days after around like Martin Luther King time, a little bit before that, I'm pretty sure. Because he passed away at 80. This was I'll say my first time doing a little research on him. I didn't know much about him, but after a little bit of research, it was just pretty much saying that what did they have on him? Yeah, pretty much he had he's received a lot of degrees and stuff, honorary degrees. I want to say yes, he was awarded more than 50 honorary degrees. That's a lot of damn degrees from all over the place. It looked like, yeah, pretty much from all over the place. But he did more than that. Like I said, with a civil rights active, he did a lot of the sit-ins and stuff like that. Got beat a lot of times. Went to jail. The bridge. What is the bridge called? They have a bridge called the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And right now it's named after the Grand Wizard in Alabama, the KKK member. They want to rename that after John Lewis, because over that bridge with them marching over, I want to say marched over the bridge. I'm pretty sure they marched over the bridge back in the days, and he was doing that so like for black people to get equal rights, and it would be that fits the bridge better if you think about like the shit that's going on right now, present day, that's been leading up to this year, you know, all the situations that's just been going on. But he definitely deserves it. I'm all for it. Why have it named after a hate group that don't mean any good to people? Why not name it after somebody that was fighting for equal rights, you know? Not saying that one color is better than the other. So rest in peace to John Lewis. If you haven't learned anything about him, do a little research on him. Like I said, I've seen that he had over 50 honorary degrees, and he was definitely a powerful image back then. And I mean, to present day, he fought for this all the way into the day he died. And so, like I said, I want to say he passed away from cancer. So rest in peace to John Lewis. And the other part of the news I had was Kanye. Kanye West had a rally campaign. And it was, I don't know where to start with this. Kanye, for one, he had the hairdo. He had his haircut said 2020. I was trying to figure out what the hell it said. Like, I think the video was like an hour long, and about 20 minutes in, I'm like, damn, this motherfucker really got 2020 in his head. So he's serious about running for the campaign to be the president this year. But a few things I want to say that he mentioned. I just want to go down a list I came up with. He mentioned that Harriet Tubman didn't free his slaves. He said that what Harriet did was had just pretty much he didn't free them. She sent them to go work for other white slave masters. Yeah, I'll come back to that. What else he said? He mentioned something about with abortion. When he was younger, he said that his mother planned on aborting him. His father wanted to abort him, but his mom, he said she saved his life because she wanted to keep him. He also mentioned that Kim Kardashian didn't want to have a baby. They didn't want to have a baby. He said he spoke to God one night, and after that, they agreed they're going to have this baby. So he was saying like his daughter wasn't supposed to be here. So he's not for the abortions or whatever he was trying to say. And he also said he bought a lady on the stage that said that she had to have an abortion months ago because she was only making $9 an hour. And what he was pretty much saying was, as far as abortion, it's a woman's body. If she wants to abort that child, she has the right to because it's her body. But you have to still think about the financial, like having a child brings. Not for one, having unprotected sex is going to bring a child 9 times out of 10. But once you have that child, if you can't do anything for that child, you either have to give that up to the government, to the states, and let them go to a foster home, or you just got to try your best. And with this lady, she was just saying that those $9 a month, she couldn't, not $9 an hour wasn't going to be enough to bring a child up in this world. So he just got into a big rant on how if he was the president, each human that has a child should be able to get at least $1 million just to start off to bring a child up. $1 million for each parent in this world. That's a big crazy issue. But let's go back to the Harriet statement he made. I've read a little bit about Harriet. We've all learned about Harriet Tubman in school, probably every level of education. Yeah, elementary, middle school, high school. You learn about Harriet Tubman. Me and my lady, we watched the movie the other day, the Harriet movie, and one thing I seen on there, she was going back and forth, bringing them. But where she was working at, it was like a peaceful environment. It had black and white people that treated everyone good. And the person that was in charge there was a brother, you know? So where Kanye was going with this, I think that he might have just seen the movie. I talked to this with my boy, shout out to Poe Politic and my boy Twan and Raul. We talked about this on a wrestling hip hop podcast. And it seems like that's he's going off the movie. That's what he got from the movie, was that she got him away from slavery, but they technically wasn't free because they went to go work for somebody else. But if you look at it, they went from a horrible, bad situation to a great situation to where they'd be able to have somewhat freedom, you know? So he kind of lost me with, he didn't kind of lose, he definitely lost me with the whole Harriet Tubman situation that he brought upon himself. For him to even say that and to be expecting people to vote for him this year, is just like, you getting points took from you right now, Kanye. What else did he say? As far as the abortion, I totally agree with a woman. It's her body. If she wants to get rid of that child, she feel like she can't do anything about it. That's what she has to do, but that's her right. But at the same time, you have to think about what you're getting yourself into when you go into having sex with someone unprotected. Now, I know sometimes it's not the same way. It's not always, it can be forceful or something like rape or something like that. That's never a good thing. But if that's not the case, like just for a woman to know, like, this is a man I'm about to have a child with, she should know that man somewhat and know, like, is he going to be able to support him, or for you even, are you going to be able to support that child? So they should have they should definitely talk about that before they put themselves in that situation. Excuse me. The last thing he talked about, I want to say after the campaign, he went on a big ass rant on Twitter. It was I'll say about 20, 30 tweets. And with these tweets, he was taking shots at Drake. He took a few shots at the whole Kardashian family. Damn, my nose running. Yeah, with the whole Kardashian family, he took he just was snapping out about this. And 1 second. So with the whole Kim Kardashian thing, he said he want to get a divorce from her. That she's been trying to, I guess, put medicine in his body or give him help that he really needs, because she said that he's bipolar. She made a post earlier saying that he's bipolar and saying how he needs like help and stuff like that. He's been saying he's been trying to get out the marriage for a long time now. I want to say for about 2 or 3 years he's been trying to get out this marriage. Like I said, I just don't understand. Like it's hard to take Kanye serious. This is one of those situations I mentioned before that people say that, like Tupac said a long time ago, that even though it's not heaven sent, we ain't ready to see a black president. And that's kind of tough, because when you come as a black person, you have to come even harder. So for Kanye to try to represent black people and he's not mentally there, that's something like we just can't vote for him just because he's black, you know. Even though in our right mind we're like, you know what, we need a black president, but we have to make sure that this president knows exactly what he's talking about. He's going to bring some type of help. Like even for him to say that every parent should get $1 million for a kid, that's, I mean, it's not going to happen for one. But be reasonable. It's a certain amount that it would help out people with children or stuff like that. But you just can't go around just throwing out numbers thinking that shit gonna work, because that's not gonna land you votes. You gotta actually sound like be some type. You have to be right in your head, you know. Kanye is not right in his head. He really needs help. I want to say Dave Chappelle flew out there to see him. That's a good friend. Hopefully he get the help he need, and if he's going to actually run for president, I hope he start making sense, because right now, honestly, he's not making sense at anything he's been saying lately. So yeah, I'll leave Kanye alone for now. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, look on YouTube. They got the video of Kanye. He's talking about just, he had a few more segments he had in there. But it was, like I said, he was just all over the place, just bringing up a lot of random shit that didn't make any sense to me, at least. So let's get to a little music. I really haven't been listening to new music besides, I want to say Drake dropped a freestyle today, or a couple of days ago. J. Cole is releasing 2 tracks tonight. I want to pretty much probably at midnight. But as far as other things in music, they had the Tory Lanez and Meg the Stallion situation that happened like a week ago when she got shot in her foot somehow. Like this shit just it just sound funny as hell. And you know, like with social media, they be killing people with all these memes. But I'm with this situation, I'm not sure what happened, but I want to say they were in a car. It was a situation. I want to say Kylie Jenner was with him or some shit, and they got into an argument or whatever, and he ended up shooting her in her foot. Because when Meg the Stallion came out, she said that the person that shot her meant harm to her. So is that saying, like, I mean, to me that's just saying that Tory said he was gonna shoot her, or he said he was gonna do it and he did it. It wasn't by accident, it was on purpose. He knew what he was doing. So like, yeah, I'm gonna just leave that topic alone, but it's just a crazy situation. I'm not sure what everybody felt on that. It's been so many stories going around. Nobody knows the truth. Hopefully they drop an interview about this situation soon. I gotta hear how this turns out. We gotta see how this unfolds, because like I said, that shit is ridiculous that it would even happen that way, for them to even be in a situation like that at this time, you know. So what else I had? With the music, the rap battles, they have the versus battles tonight going on. And then with Facebook, my a group that I'm in, we're doing the Facebook producers battle, and tonight it is who we got. Lil Jon versus Juicy J. My predictions for that, I'm trying to think. So we do 10 tracks, and number 11 is the tiebreaker. So pretty much 11 tracks. Lil Jon, let's see here. He can play some Trillville songs, like Lil Scrappy songs. Who else he had? Lil Jon produced a lot of tracks. He done made stuff with Pitbull, pretty much every rapper back then. The Snap Your Fingers song, Fabo and all them, B4L, he got music with them. So this going against Juicy J. Now, this is something I haven't looked up. I'm not sure if Juicy J produced all of 3 6 Mafia stuff or even some of it. I'm pretty sure he produced some of it. So it's probably some of the best tracks from 3 6 Mafia. Juicy J got songs with a lot of rappers, like from the last couple of all over the years. Shit, the last decade he's been dropping a lot of songs. So that should be a good battle. But with this one, I'm gonna say I'll probably go Lil Jon this one. I just feel like he's gonna have more bangers out of the two, or it's pretty much it's really about the placement. But I feel like with Lil Jon, he got a lot of tracks that's nobody's fucking with as far as like Juicy J. It depends on the crowd though. Like older people might like the old 3 6 Mafia songs, but everybody know like once Lil Jon came on the scene, like he fucked it up for a while. As far as the versus battle, they got DMX versus Snoop Dogg. That should be starting at 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern time. Snoop and DMX, I think I said I was gonna go with Snoop because I just feel like he got songs with Dr. Dre, he got songs with the Dog Pound, Death Row Records. He got a lot of shit. DMX had a great run as well, but I just feel like compared to Snoop tracks, Snoop got so many classic songs that he can play against DMX. Not knocking DMX, but I just feel like Snoop got better tracks, better classic songs than he does, you know? So we'll see how those battles turn out tonight. Once again, the Lil Jon and Juicy J battle will be in the Facebook group on, we use Zoom. I'll post that link later on tonight on my Facebook page if you got me on there. If you want to just send me a DM, I'll shoot it to you. As far as DMX and Snoop, that'll be on Instagram. If y'all, I'm pretty sure everybody got Instagram. Just tune into that if y'all get bored. Ain't nothing else on TV. So let's get into the TV shows. I only had a few more things to talk about. As far as the TV shows, I've been watching Queen of South still and The Chi. We're on season 4 of The Chi now. No, season 4 of Queen of the South. It's been getting pretty good. But as far as the TV shows, I want to talk about The Chi. So just let me see a few things that happened on this show. This previous episode was they're still looking for Keisha. They've been looking for her pretty much the whole damn season now for a couple of episodes now. And they had a blackout in the city, so we finally get a glimpse of where Keisha's been at. Still don't know who the gentleman is that has her holding her hostage, but he got her in a little crib. They end up having a blackout in the whole city, so she pretty much escapes out of there. But it took her a long time to get out of there, and it's like it led up from like half of the episode all the way to the end when she finally got out, and she ends up falling to the ground, and dude took her ass right back in the crib. So pretty much it looked like Keisha gonna be gone for probably to the end of the season right now. What else happened? Emmett mom, she goes on a date with one of the guys that she's working with, and with the family's Hispanic family that she's going to, she doesn't really know him like that. She doesn't know the gentleman's background, so she just being herself trying to talk, and she said just saying some of the wrong shit at the wrong time. So it's like she's having trouble dating people, being at her age. I want to say she's got to be up in her early 40s or late 40s or whatever. But she just trying to get her groove back on the show. So she's trying to give this friendship a try because like I said, she's been dating and stuff, this guy from work. So that was going on. I want to say Ronnie got baptized this episode. Ronnie's been going through it after he hurt that young boy, killed that young boy on season 1 of episode 1, actually, the first season. So he's been going through some shit right now. And Pops is he's a pastor, so he's been helping him out, giving him clothes, trying to get him places like shelters to where he can stay and like get back on his feet or whatever. So he's been pretty good. What else did we have? Emmett, yeah, Emmett finally lost his job. So with this blackout going on, if you haven't been watching, Sonny, that's where Emmett works, and he has Lala working there with him. She's from another restaurant, but they've been doing business behind Sonny's back. So around I think at 10 o'clock when they shut down, that's when Emmett and Lala opened back up. So what they decided to do with the blackout was they had some shit that they can still use. They took it outside, set up shop, and they got to cook and everything. They having a big they getting bread out there, making all this bread. Next thing you know, Sonny pulls up on him right when he's having the greatest moment of his life. Sonny pulls up and he talks to him like, I really thought that you would be a better person. This something like I want to pass this organization, my company down to you. This chicken spot or whatever it is, I want to pass it to you or stuff. I look at you like a young brother, and he just let him know like, man, I'm disappointed in you. You ain't shit. You just like everybody else. You pretty much you use me and stuff like that. So it's like just right when Emmett thought everything was going great, he got caught doing dirty shit behind his manager back. So they let his ass go. So now pretty much he's gonna be trying to look for a different job most likely, or trying to get his way back. And the other thing that happened on there is just Kevin. He's defending this young lady at his school that he really like. Him and Jakey been getting into it. So it's like he's trying to get back right with this young lady. Papa made it official with his girl. I can't think of her name right now, but the show it's been all right. I wasn't expecting much after they let go of the two main stars of the show. A few of them missing now, two or three of the main stars of the show. But with them missing out, like it's been okay. It's still watchable. I didn't think it would be interesting at this point, but like I said, I'm still looking forward to see like how they're gonna spin this, or maybe if they're even gonna think about coming up with another season. Let's see. The last one. Let me see. The movies I had. Oh, man, the movie I saw over this week was Fatal Affair. Now this is one thing I don't like about Netflix is they had that top 10 when you get on Netflix now. Now with the top 10, you would think that these are your top 10 movies that you got on your program right now. That is never the case. They put some of the worst shit up in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. They put Fatal Affair at, I mean, it makes if you're going based off the number 1 and 10, Fatal Affair should be at a 4 because the movie was ass. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The movie it really didn't get me. It's been so many remakes of a movie like this. I'm just getting to a couple of things that happen in the movie. If you haven't seen it, it's still watchable, because this is one thing I want to say is, even though we've seen this movie over and over again, as Black people, we tear each other down so much of like talking down on movies like this, but we still should be able to support it because this is still a Black movie, just showing us something different. Like, they didn't have to release that. I wish they wouldn't have released it, but it's like I said, I still support. You got to still support the culture at the end of the day, but it's a 4 out of 10 for me. I ain't hating or nothing, but I said 4 out of 10 for this movie. But a few things that happen on there. So the movie pretty much starts off, it's Nia Long and Omar Epps. I can't think of the gentleman name that Nia Long's married to on there, but I want to say like he had some type of injury. He hasn't been himself for a while, so he hasn't been able to spend as much time with his wife and stuff. So she's going through a phase right now. Omar Epps is one of her friends from one of her colleagues from back in the days. They went to college together and stuff. Omar was pretty much in love with her, but he never got a chance with her because she was head over heels for her husband, present day. So they run into each other. They get to chatting and stuff like that. And as the movie goes on, Omar ends up at different places where she's at and stuff. So it's like stalking her. And one night they run in, they have a few drinks, I want to say. They have a run in at the club. One of the clubs, I want to say, a club or a bar they went to, and they end up almost having sex in the bathroom. Key word, almost having sex. And after that, he has a counselor because okay, at the beginning of the movie, it starts off with some lady getting murdered by somebody they didn't identify. But if you put two and two together, you know where I'm going with this. So he has a counselor. He goes to the counselor weekly, I guess, and after he almost had sex with Nia Long, he goes back and tells the counselor, "Yeah, I just met somebody great over the weekend. I'm planning on making her mine." And shit. And it's like, wait a minute, dude, you've been stalking this lady. You know her from college, but now you've been stalking her ever since you got back around her and shit. So pretty much, what else happened on there? He starts showing up at random places. So her husband starts to get into moving back around and stuff. He goes golfing with the husband. Now, what the proof that he has is that he has somebody was recording them like kissing on each other or something like that, and showed him. I mean, he has like flashbacks of almost having sex with Nia Long on the movie. So with all this leading up to, he just starts stalking her. And a few of the scenes, like I said, he shows up at her house unannounced, shows up at the job, he shows up, he golfs with the husband. And then another low blow, one of the ladies that they is working with, because he ends up working with him for a couple of days or something, maybe a couple of weeks. One of the women that she's friends with, he ends up dating her for a while. And they end up going to a dinner date at her house. So that's how they went to her house the first time. It's a few other run-ins and stuff like that. Yeah, played golf with the husband. And yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a wild movie. It was different seeing Omar Epps in this character with him being like a stalker. Like they have a daughter on the movie as well. He's stalking the daughter at some point. It's a whole bunch of weird shit, but I mean, he get what coming to him at the end of the movie. So, like I said, hopefully I ain't spoiled too much for y'all. If you already saw it, let me know how y'all felt about that movie. Like I said, it was a 4 out of 10 for me. I expected more, but like I said, we've seen this movie before. The man is with the woman that's married. They fall off. Somebody starts stalking them. They end up doing something that they wasn't supposed to. So, yeah, like I said, it was a all right movie. If you just one of those nights you want to find something to watch on TV. So yeah. As far as the weird woke, we're gonna wrap it up with the weird woke segment tonight. And for the weird woke segment, I wanted to mention something because, like I said, I'm on social media a lot, and one of the situations that we have all the time are that people get numbers like stats mixed up when it comes to situations going on like right now. So for example, over the weekend, somebody on social media, like I said, on ESPN or something, I just look at the ESPN. I just like to see how people think about certain stuff. So one of the guys said on there that they announced that they will every NFL player, they have the option to put a logo of the name of somebody that has been like killed from police brutality. So like Breonna Taylor and what's the other guy that passed away recently? Pretty much everybody's passed away recently or even over time. They have the option to put that logo on. And one of the comments that stood out to me was that the first thing that someone said on there was, well, if they can do that, can people in the league put up a police officer's name that got killed by those thugs? And when you think of the word thug, no other race comes to mind but a black person. So one thing I had to do my research on was what's the stats on police brutality, like who have the cops killed the most by race. and the numbers were quite shocking to me. But just to go over this, from 2017, 457 white people have been killed by the police. 457. The second leading is black, 223. Now, if you can add, that is 446. 446. So double the amount of white people have been killed by the police. But with the media, they always focus on police brutality to only blacks. So what I'm trying to get at is, people can't keep on saying, like, just overlooking, like thinking that this is all about being black, like Black Lives Matter is all about black people being above any other race. That's not the case. It's about black people being equal to every other race. Every race should be equal. No race should be above or below the other. But what I want to say is, as far as for a white person, I love all colors, but as far as a white person, if anybody should be saying lives should matter as well, and they should not saying like come up with the way that they twist it right now is, if they say white lives matter, they're saying, like, some people that are saying that are people that have been part of like hate groups like the KKK or something like that. But they shouldn't be saying blue lives matter. Nothing against police, but in the police force, there are a lot of bad cops. That's facts. It's been proven time and time again. But white people, black people, Hispanic, every race should be upset with the police organization, not just black people. So white people have to stop attacking black people when they say Black Lives Matter. They have to get on board and, like, you know what? You're right about that. We've seen what they've done to you. And even with our numbers being doubled, like, so right now, as far as 2020, it's been, as far as white people, it's been 204 white people have been killed by the police. 105 black people have been killed by the police. 66 Hispanic people have been killed by the police. And unknown 116. So who knows what race they were, is under the unknown 116. So unknown races have also been killed more than black people. So, like I said, when it comes to Black Lives Matter, it's just not about it's not what most people think it is. It's really just saying, like, we have been dying for years from crazy shit like this. But every other race should be on that same, like, they should be right there with us fighting that battle against the bad police that are out there, because they have been beaten, killed the double time the time that we have as black people. So I just wanted to share those numbers. So next time somebody try to say that black people shouldn't be saying this or do that, tell them to do their research and be aware that their race has been killed double the time that we've been killed. So if we're tired of shit, y'all should be tired of the shit too. So I'm gonna just wrap it up with that. It kind of pissed me off just even thinking about it. It's just annoying that people think that way. But hopefully one day everybody starts to understand, like, everybody lives matter. Right now we're saying Black Lives Matter because we feel like we're getting, like, beat for no reason. So hopefully we can stand together on these situations and start educating each other and realize that we're not the enemies. Like, it's not a black and white thing. It's not the enemy. It's a right or wrong thing. We want what's right for us, you know? So like I said, we'll leave it at that. Once again, thanks again for tuning into the We Are Woke podcast. Follow me on YouTube, We Are Woke podcast, Instagram, We Are Woke podcast. If you got me on Snapchat, on Facebook, Demetrius Brooks. I'll be doing a guest every week. Right now, I'm almost booked for, I want to say I'm booked for next month. Yeah, I'm booked for August. But if anybody's looking for an interview, to be a guest on the We Are Woke podcast, just contact me. Hit me up on YouTube in my comments if I know you or whatever. Hit me up on social media. I just want to have a guest on the show and just chop it up with y'all and get, like, if we got any black-owned businesses, black-owned products, anything to get black people's voice heard and get our products out there as well, so we can start selling as well. Like, I've seen a couple of places, like, starting to open up little gas stations and little stores and stuff, black-owned businesses. That's what it's all about right now. So I'm gonna say that probably on every episode until I see more, and hopefully I can get my own soon as well. Because after once school is done, I want to start doing my personal training thing and be a personal trainer and open up a small gym one day, a black-owned gym. So yeah, we're gonna keep it like that. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I'll check out next week. My guest next week will be Jonathan Griffin, MMA fighter. We're gonna have some good stuff for him. Probably get some UFC predictions. I want to see it's a card next week. Chop it up with him. See how he got into MMA. And like I said, we'll leave it at that. Y'all have a good one.